should be licking your chops, Jamal. With D'Antoni coming in, I mean, you had your best season as a pro last year, and that should just only get better for you.
Oh, definitely. I'm very excited. I always said if I could play in a system like Phoenix, that some good things can happen. But in a way, Phoenix has kind of come to New York.
Marty Collins missed that free throw.
Hopefully in the nick of time.
Yeah, definitely. Change is good, you know, and I think there'll be more changes along the line, but we're all excited about this summer and moving forward for the future.
Have you talked to Curry or any other players?
Yeah, I talked to Q, I talked to D-Lee. Curry's going to get out here this week. You know, we talked about coming out here and just supporting our team and meeting with Coach D'Antoni.
He must be raring to go after missing most of the last season.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's been working out, and I think it's going to go really well for him.
J.J. Hickson on the weak side. He's been impressive. He's got 10. First man in double figures.
Yeah, that's having the nasty stuff. So the Knicks haven't been boxing out, and Hickson really prospering in the paint. So what have you been doing all summer? In New York, Seattle?
I've been in Seattle. I've been working out in Seattle. I've been doing a lot of stuff off the court, but I've been working on the court as well. You know, with Coach D'Antoni's system, I kind of see where I can fit in there. And after talking to him, you know, he says I'll be a very, very good part moving forward. So I'm definitely working on my game and condition and everything else to get ready for it.
How do you practice that signature move that we were just showing, where you go behind your back and shake on guys? Is it instinct or?
It's instinct, but honestly, I was playing in Doug Christie's All-Star game when I was 16 years old. And a guy that, an older guy, had kind of been defending me very, very well in the regular season. It was an All-Star game. And it was me and him one-on-one. I kind of made up that move then, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since. And that's how it's kind of just taken off from there.
Yeah, we were just talking about summer workouts, what you do. What types of things do you focus on in the summer when you work out?
Last season was more strength, so I was bench pressing and squatting and do a lot of that stuff. But this year, I'm doing more basketball-related stuff. I'm working on my core an awful lot because I think if you have that core strong, it can take you to a whole nother level, you know, and so I'm very excited about doing that and just seeing where things can go with me this summer.
Does that mean more sit-ups?
More sit-ups, more crunches. Everything you do, you have to use your core. So if you tighten that while you're doing it, it helps you with your explosiveness.
Well, last season you gained 15 pounds. You look like you're fit now. What's your weight now as opposed to last season?
Right now it's at 200 pounds, and I like to stay there. Last year I came in at 207, and I was a little heavy, so I want to keep that quickness, and especially the way we're playing, the style we're playing, we're going to get up and down a lot and use that quickness to our advantage.
The Knicks just brought Chris Duhon from Chicago most recently to be in the backcourt along with you. You played against him, obviously, against the Bulls. What's your thought on that?
I'm very excited about Chris, honestly. He's a pass-first point guard. You know, he looks to get his other guys off. He can still knock down that shot, and he's a tough defender, you know, so I think it'll be a really good backcourt. We'll complement each other well. And, you know, Chris is a smart player. He went to Duke. He had a lot of success in Chicago as well, so we're all excited about having him.
Yeah, I wondered about his defense, what you thought, because obviously he guarded you quite a bit.
Yeah, he's a tough defender. And he's pretty big for a point guard. He's only 6'1", 6'2", but he's strong, you know, so he can guard multiple positions and definitely guard some guys in the backcourt.
And we've seen a dozen points by Wilson Chandler here, Jamal. He looks good.
Wilson has looked very, very good in practice as well. I think he's been the best player in practice so far. You know, Wilson's a guy that always wants to get better. You know, he's always working out, and his game is really taking off, and I think he'll have a great season this year.
Marty Collins knocks down a jumper. And Marty was a guy that had a tough season last year, finding time, and when he did, he was, you know, somewhat erratic. I know he came back from injury. What do you make of his game?
I think Marty will be fine. You know, he's gotten some of the great one next to me, Walt Clyde Frazier, in his game. I think the year before, people forget when everybody was hurt, Marty was flirting with triple-doubles every other night, you know, so I think if he can get back to that level, he'll really help us and be a positive moving forward.
I think it's all about confidence, you know. His confidence fluctuates a lot.
Yeah, and I think that comes with playing time and court experience. And stuff like this, knocking down that shot, he's going to have more confidence to do it later and going on in the season. You know, because Marty's not a bad shooter. He just thinks about it a little bit too much. And when he misses, it kind of gets in his head a little bit. But I think he'll be good moving forward.
Well, there's something you can work on. Don't think about shooting, just shoot. Let it go, right?
You can only make it or miss it, you know, and you got to have confidence. And I think his confidence has grown a lot.
Yeah, he looks a lot slimmer to me.
Yeah.
He lost weight.
Yeah, I think he lost about 15, 16 pounds. Q also lost a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he lost about 15 or 20 pounds, and he's feeling good. I think he wants to lose about 5 or 10 more.
Yeah, he's going to join us later in the broadcast. I think he shaved everything off.
Everything.
No
his
hair.
His
He's got
hair,
nothing
his
up
facial
there.
hair. And I call him Slim Jim now.
That'd be good to see him, no question. You talked with Mike D'Antoni, you said.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about those conversations. What did he kind of focus on when he talked to you?
We covered everything, honestly, from top to bottom. We talked about every subject. No stone was unturned. We met for about 2 hours, and we talked about everything moving forward. He's very excited, you know, and just talking to him, I know that he really believes in his coaching, you know, and he's like, it's going to be a process, but we're going to win. We're going to have fun, and we're going to win. And that's what he's all about, and I think he's a great teacher, and it'll be a lot of fun for us.
You know, Donnie Walsh was saying that, you know, when team does not win, obviously everyone looks bad.
Right.
So you tend to kind of throw everybody in the same circle and say, well, that's not a good team. But I don't think I really think people in New York don't really believe that. I think people in New York think this could be a good team.
I think so. I think our fans really believe, and I think that's evidence. Even when it was clear we were going to the playoffs, they still came out and supported us every night because I think they saw the change that was coming, and I think they were positive about our future. And Coach D'Antoni talked about that with me. He says, you know, you guys are not as bad as people think you are, but that's good. We'll surprise some people and get some wins along the way.
If the team is to turn it around, what do you see as a focal point for that?
Chemistry. Because it's not always about talent. You know, sometimes less is more. And just having the chemistry and everybody on the same page. And I think with some moves we're going to make and moving forward, I think our chemistry will greatly improve. And that good move, Gallo. Oh. And I think that'll help us going towards the future. You know, it's not about talent. You know, sometimes too much talent's a bad thing, but I think role players and guys understanding what they need to do on the court will help us in the long run.
All right, Jamal, thanks for joining us, and I'll be coming to practice, man. I want to see if you could get that shake and bake off on me.
I can't get it off on you.
He's been watching. He's been looking at videotape. You're not getting that move off on him.
No, I know I'm not.
Thanks to Jamal.